Assalamu alaikum and happy Monday. Welcome to Sajdah's Monday morning motivation. If you got the Monday blues, let's set your week off right. Let's have a high vibration discussion this morning to get you going. So grab your coffee. I know some of y'all are driving to work. Some of you might be on the train. Some of you just might be rolling over. Whatever you're doing, make sure you like, subscribe, and tell a friend, and we'll be right back. I'm going to give y'all time to get in the room.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum. Happy Monday. Welcome, everyone. We are on the heels of a Mother's Day weekend. I hope everyone is doing well today. Um, Today is our Monday morning motivation. And if you're like me, you have challenges ahead of you, and you just need to spend some time and tune in and focus. And this morning, because oftentimes we just kind of get up and we fall into our routine, even though a lot of us get up and pray and we get up and meditate, but we fall into a routine that doesn't utilize the intentionality of our mind. So today I just want to refocus our intention. Um, so I hope everybody's doing well and they had a good weekend. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We got some surprises coming up for the show. Moving towards that goal I told you guys about. I'm having just some plain old coffee today. This is decaf with a little vanilla oat meat creamer in my Sajdah House cup. Make sure you get your commemorative Elijah coin if you don't have one. The other thing there, we got some announcements coming up as well very, very, very soon. I have literally been almost like in a cocoon, just tunnel visioned on a few projects that are starting to bubble and those that have been going on for a while. And oftentimes, when you're trying to finally give birth to that stuff, when you're trying to make that last step into that next dimension of your life, there becomes oftentimes some challenges. And I just want to say to all of us this Monday morning, make sure if you have not set your intentions for the day, that you set them. And I keep doing this because I want you to have blinders on this week. Set your intentions. What do you intend to accomplish this week? How do you intend to be as a person this week? How do you intend to react and act this week? And just go ahead and set the vibration. Put everything in motion this morning with what it is that you know you need to and want to accomplish this week. It's all about that focus, okay? And I'm going to say this to you. That means that there's some vibrational work that you have to do. You have to stay away from anybody that has a vibration that is different from yours. And it doesn't matter if, or no, let me say it better. Stay away from anybody whose vibration is not going to help you get what it is that you want this week. Practice being vibrationally conscious. Because let me tell you what happens. A lot of times, especially those of you that are trying to break out of an old habit, old behaviors, and you have people in your circle or folks that you just hang out with or that know you who are driving you back to your old vibration by how they respond to you and because of what they trigger in your mind. So you want to be mindful of that type of thing. In some cases, you have to go to work. You got to go to school, and you can't avoid those people. Well, you should be really focused with your affirmations. You should be stopping every moment you can to reconnect with yourself, focusing on your heart, focusing on your desires, staying focused. I know a lot of times, like I said, we can't change who we're around and those people that are around us, but you want to be very mindful of that. When you have a very fine-tuned goal, make sure that your primary focus is dealing with people that are part of that fine-tuned goal. Be very careful of other people who are very fearful, because if people are afraid, I don't know if you guys realize this, but your body, especially your heart, our body, our hearts, everything has a vibration, right? And however we're vibrating, it goes out into the universe and it touches other people. That's why you can walk into the room and raise the vibration, or you can walk into the room and just bring it all the way down. So your vibration and how you're vibing touches other people. And other people's vibration, based on how they're thinking, touches you. And so you want to be very careful, especially when it's a deep love relationship, because that deep love can be a direct channel for the exchange of vibration. All right. So when you're interacting, if it's your husband, your children, your father, your sister, your mother, your brother, your cousin, your best friend, your boss, and it's something that you are open to. You're open to feeling that person's vibration. You're open to absorbing that person's vibration. Why? Because you love them, because you respect them. You want to feel them. And so you're very open. A lot of times don't meet those goals because that slight change in vibration alters our thoughts, and then we end up in a thought pattern that prevents us sometimes from having what we want. So you want to be very, very careful with that. This is especially challenging when you have people around you who you may think they love you, but they don't. And so they got certain vibrations. So what you have to do, especially if you're like me and you're an empath, make sure that you're constantly focusing on your vibration, what it is you want, where you want to go, what your intentions are, how you want to move. Make sure you're focusing on that. I make sure I'm really, really laser focused on that, almost to the point where I'm programming and hypnotizing myself. And so I'm careful about my interactions. Okay. And I'll tell you, if you know me and you know anything about me, I'm always very careful about how I respond or interact to you. If you ask me a negative question, and maybe you didn't necessarily intend for it to be negative, then in responding to you, I won't give you the whole long negative answer. I'll give you something short because I want to be responsible for how I'm impacting you. So that's kind of where my spiritual practices are in terms of being very mindful of how I affect others. If I have to give bad news, if I have to give good news, if somebody comes to me and I hear them make an extreme statement, again, if you know me personally, you know that. Let's say you make an extreme statement and you say, oh, that person is a liar. Then I'll say, wow, what made you say that that person is a liar? Because I'm trying to stop you from allowing a vibration to impact you, or I'm trying to help you with that. And then I'm also making sure that you aren't being overtly emotional towards something or somebody that you need to interact with. So I'll ask you, what evidence do you have that that person lied? And do you know that about half the time when you do that with people, when you see them make extreme statements, and if you say, you know, what made you say that? I'm going to say at least 50% of the time, they can't really justify why they made that extreme statement. The reason being is because a lot of times we make statements for entertainment value, for shock value, because we heard how it's practiced. This is, I know people hate this, but see, this is when you know you're really a slave. When somebody else is constantly dictating what you say, what you do, how you do it, and you're programming from slavery where you were taught to be competitive against the other slave, who picked the most cotton, who chopped down the most sugar cane, who shoed the most horses, whatever it is, there was always a competition, and the winner of that competition got certain favor. And so this went on for generations, and it went down into our DNA. There's another side of it when we're always trying to, you know, go have something that somebody else has. A lot of that come from slavery. The field Negro and the house Negro, and the field Negroes always wanted to see if they could be in the house. And the people in the house didn't really want to associate with the field Negroes. Well, even if there was, I was watching a show where there was a woman who worked in the house and her husband was in the field, and she had to sneak. not only was it not even legal for them to have a relationship, but she couldn't even allow the other slaves to know that she was having a relationship or she was still with this man who worked in the fields. Why? Because there's this psychological programming that says we're better than that one. And so when you are a slave, you're constantly trying to be better than the next person. And it causes an extreme emotional reaction in you when you somehow feel like somebody's better than you. If you think their house is better, if you think their car is better, if you think their hair is better, if you think their skin is better, then you get some kind of emotional reaction. That means you're still a slave. Seriously. And I know a lot of times these are people that we love who act like this. But when you see somebody acting like that, you better know what you're looking at as a slave. Somebody who is still operating off of slave tactics and programming, because that's all that is. Where somebody, slave masters saying, hey, you're better than this one. I like you better than her. I like him better than him. Like you better than him. It's always this competition. Let me be better. Let me do more. Let me sing more. Let me tap dance more. And if I got to cut down the person that he likes more, or hurt him, kill him, maim him, slander him, gossip against him, dog him, if I can cut him down, then he won't pay her any more attention and he'll give me attention. And it sounds really petty now, even though we do it every day, but it sounds petty now. But when you put a person in a position where their livelihood depends on who you like the best. So let's say you're the slave master and the livelihood of these two families depends on which one of them you like the best. You best believe that one family might do something towards the other family so they can live, so they can survive. So when you put it in these types of terms, you now have patterned our brains. There's grooves in our brains that align with this kind of behavior. Our heart beats to that kind of behavior. We're a sucker for it. We watch shows that do it. We love it. And in turn, we do it to one another. Well, you best believe that you are a slave if you're still functioning like that, and you're looking at a slave if you see somebody operating like that. What does that mean for you in terms of your goals this week and beyond? You cannot necessarily converse with a slave about being free and expect that slave to understand you and not get jealous. You got to talk to the slave about slave stuff. So if you got friends that are still slaves, if you got family that are still slaves, co-workers, they can only connect to slave stuff. Because when you're trying to be free and you're trying to resurrect them, now, okay, jealousy pops in. You know how you make a difference? You got to show them. You got to be it. They got to look up and see you over there free, thriving, living, loving, moving how you want to move, doing what you want to do, being who you want to be. When they see it, then they may come on over. But tone it down, dial it back. Stop trying to spend an exorbitant amount of time talking to a slave about free stuff. Dial it back and focus this week on yourself. Focus on your goals. What do you want to accomplish? How much weight you want to lose? And how much you going to lose this week? Are you losing a pound this week, a pound and a half? Focus on that. And what do you have to do? What behaviors need to back up how much weight you're going to lose this week? How much money you making this week? What behaviors need to support how much money you're making this week? How many deals you closing? How many contracts are you going to secure? How many leads are you going to generate? How many phone calls are you going to make? How many customers are you going to see? How many people are you going to do something nice for? How many times do you plan to be kind this week? Because you might be in a position where you're so mean that you got to just say, all right, let me be kind once a week and start there. What's your intention? What's your emotional intentions for this week? Is it to be focused? Is it to be driven? Is it to be powerful? Is it to be high vibrational? Is it to be happy? Is it to be grateful? What is your intention? And every time you find something that happens throughout life today and this week that tries to bring you down or draw you over to the other side, or you walking around, your vibration is high, you focus, you concerned, you ready to go, and then here comes somebody trying to scare you. Well, you know what? You probably shouldn't do this or that. Or maybe here comes somebody trying to get you not to focus. You know what? Don't worry about that. Focus. What you focus on changes. That's what we want to do this week. Focus. Be laser focused and be intentional. Before I make any decisions, I make sure I set an intention. What am I going here for? If I'm going out of town, what is my purpose? What am I going here for? Am I saying I want to go out of town because I want to see family and friends? I want to do whatever activity I'm going to? Or what's my emotional intention? I'm going because I need a break. I'm going because I want to get away. If I'm deciding that I'm going to purchase something, what's my intention for purchasing this? So every little thing has an intention. It doesn't have to have a big metaphysical intention. So if you say, well, I was going to go and buy these shoes, you don't have to figure out a whole soliloquy on why you need to buy the shoes. If you say, I'm buying these shoes because I really like these shoes and they go really well in my wardrobe, then that can be your intention. But you can take it even deeper. If that's your reason, and you can say, you know what, because I like to look nice. And it's okay for me to look nice. It's okay for me to want to be attractive. It's all right. I know you probably heard some financial person out here saying that all we care about is being attractive. It's okay with wanting to be attractive. Are you killing yourself trying to do it? Then that means you're probably going to an extreme. If you're going into major debt trying to do it, that means you're probably going to an extreme. But you can find a way to look good. That's within your means. You can find a way. And then things will get better. Because when you look good, when you feel good, you look good. And when you look good, you feel good. Or at least you should. So make sure if you're getting up, getting out here, going to work, if you got to wear a uniform, make sure that uniform is pressed, clean, it's crisp, it's sharp. If you're getting up out of here and you going to work, make sure you look nice. Don't be out here in the street looking crazy. You never know who's going to see you. And, your look, that's why they call it a vibe, is a vibration that can attract people to you or repel people to you. That's part of it as well. So you got what's going on in your mind. You got what you're putting on your physical body, how you're presenting yourself. We got our intentions, what we're focusing on. What do we want? We set emotional intentions. We're going to set material intentions. And then we're going to set I'm going to call it our future intentions. So when you have your intentions for this week, we're going to be thinking about what bigger intention does this feed into? What bigger goal does this feed into in the future? I'm not eating a whole cake this week. I got certain steps already lined out that I need to accomplish this week in order to get to where I'm going next week. Okay. That's just basic project management. Okay. Last thing I'm going to say, I'm not going to keep y'all long today. Make sure you're setting aside time for meditation and prayer. One of the things that I do, I meditate before I pray, because what I want to do is align my vibration before I start my praise practice, or, do my salat or whatever kind of prayer I'm doing at that time. Sometimes I'll do I'll do my rakas, and then I'll just sit there in just an old fashioned, let me sit before God type of prayer. So it just depends on what time of day it is and where it is. But my point being is that make sure you're setting aside time for that. Here's an idea. One of the things I used to do when I didn't have control over my schedule, or as much control over my schedule as I began to have as I began to elevate in my career, when I was very early on, I would just take 5 minutes right there at my desk, at my cube, or in the conference room, especially if you're at your desk or in the cube, nobody got to see you. Take 5 minutes, and I would just connect with my breath, connect with myself. I didn't have a space where I could go and do prayers, a full salat. So I would sit there in my mind and just do it. But give myself that 5 minutes, and then I'd give myself another 5 minutes, if I could steal one, of just silence. Nothing but silence. And I would just use that as a time to reset myself. And, over time, you learn how to do it differently. You might be on a plane, and you say, you know what, at this moment right now, let me just take my 10 minutes. Before I read, before I put on social media, before I watch a movie, eat some of their airplane MRIs, whatever, then you can take time. So spend time doing that today. You should be doing that at least 3 to 4 times a day. Stop what you're doing and do that 3 to 4 times a day. Some people do it and do a quick little yoga flow. So they get their blood flowing and their brain going, and they're thinking and resetting and reconnecting. It just depends on how much space you have. If you're in a position where you could get up and you can stand up and just do some squats, you just want to get that blood flowing. But most importantly, you want to get focused, and moving the body, getting the blood flowing is going to also help you with your focus. So spend time. If you're a school teacher, tuck yourself away for 10 minutes, at least 3 to 4 times a day throughout the day. Don't just sit there and bulldoze the whole situation with your intellect, because at a certain point, your intellect is going to start to shift. Because as you get tired, your intellect is going to say, you're tired. You don't necessarily have to do so much. Or even if there's no verbal or audio articulation, it might be a vibrational adjustment, because you've just been bulldozing with your intellect. So take some time, get away, get quiet, and that'll refuel you. Okay. Sometimes I'll do a meditation where I'll just see a flow of water coming through me into the top of my head, flowing through my body all the way to my feet. And I'm just feeling it flow. I'm just feeling the good energy flow through me. That's when I know I need to cleanse myself. If I've been in maybe a heated meeting or on a heated phone call, or just talking to somebody who was kind of bulldozing their intellect into me, or even if, here's another time. A lot of times we neglect ourselves. And I know for me, I like to be expressive, obviously, right? So if I'm interacting with someone and the exchange of expression is not there, not because the person really has something they need to share with me, or because I have something I really need to share with them, but because that person is kind of bulldozing their will over the conversation, just, going from one to one and not really letting you say anything. This happens often in the workplace, where when you're sitting down, maybe it's a coworker, it's a boss, and they're just going from subject to subject. And then pretty soon you just sit there and go, okay, I guess they just called me in this meeting to hear themselves talk, because nobody's taking a moment to find out what I think. So I'm just going to chill. But you see how you withdrew because the person was doing that? I always tell my clients, do not bring your staff in the room and just constantly bombard. If you are going from subject to subject to subject, put up an agenda. And the agenda kind of softens the mind, so that once they see what the agenda is, they can go, oh, okay, I can flow through these subjects. And I see, okay, right here, she's got space for questions, answers, and comments. And then that kind of settles people's nervous system down. But when you sit there and you're taking a person from one one mindset to another, to another, to another, to another, because you flipping through subjects like that and you're bulldozing your intellect into them because they don't know that you're ever going to give them an opportunity to comment or ask questions. Like if you had put up the agenda, then what they're doing is they want to respond and they may either bust in and interrupt you. And so sometimes when you see people doing that, it's because you're going on too long. You always want to set the stage for that. These are basic communication tactics. If you have to say, if you know that you're going to be talking long and you're on a conference call, you should say something like, you know what, I had 3 points I'd like to make. And then you make those 3 points. And now the person is listening to you. They're counting the comments with you. And they know that you're going to stop after the third one. So they're not necessarily sitting there or they don't necessarily interrupt you because they're giving you the opportunity to do what you say you came there to do. So it's just a tactic, to use. And one other thing with just, this is where I'm telling you guys to be granularly focused this week. If you got goals, if you got a specific goal, you have to be very specific with your behaviors. I was at a restaurant last week and they had these really cute ink pens. And it was really nice and a high quality ink pen. And the waiter left it on the table. And I wanted it. And most people would go, it's an ink pen, take it. I used to have this conversation all the time with my staff. Why'd you take that ink pen and you knew it wasn't yours? Because everybody thinks it's okay to steal ink pens. So I said, no, I'm not. So I never got a chance to ask him if I could have the pen. So on the way out, I said to the host, who was really generous and very nice, I said, you know what? I said, the waiter came to my table and you guys have these really nice branded pens. I said, may I have one? And so he went and, gave us a pen and some other stuff. And I'm saying that to say that I'm so laser focused on what I'm working on that I didn't even want to steal an ink pen. If you talk to me during times like this where I'm laser focused, I don't even want you telling lies around me. If you say something that's not true and I know you don't know that it's not true, then I try to help you figure out how it's not true. Are you sure? Does that make sense? Because I want you to say some positive things around me because I love personal interaction, but I don't want it to be something that's going to take me off my vibration. And see, the thing is if I respect that person, if it's a staff member or, a close relative, if you respect that person, you want to be able to absorb whatever it is that they say without having to fact check it. But if you absorb it and it alters your vibration, then it's going to take you off of your focus. So you got to learn how to manage that vibration in your communications and your conversations, especially with your staff. A lot of people don't think about it with their staff, but especially with your staff. But we're going to do more communication discussions, high vibrational communication technique discussions on the channel. And I'll start planning those. I'm working actually on a series to help us understand how to properly communicate so that in our communication style, we're not lowering somebody's vibration. So it's an interesting topic. And the reason why I'm kind of waiting before I present it is because what I don't want to do is create a situation where you guys are so subconscious about how you communicate that you just kind of stop communicating. So we want to present it in a way so that everybody kind of gets it. And we can teach it to our children, right? So that they understand how to communicate in a style that is high vibrational, right? And we want to do that and still, maintain certain aspects of our culture, which is interesting. It's a whole interesting thing. Anyway, family, happy Monday. The theme this week is to focus, 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 focus. Set your intentions. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, whatever you're focusing on. I pray that it starts to get clearer and clearer and that it begins to manifest. I'm wishing each and every one of you more love, more goodness, more peace, more wealth, more excitement than you've ever dreamed of or imagined. All right. Focus, focus, focus. That's right, Brother Ronald. That's what we're doing this weekend. So, peace and blessings, everybody. I see a lot of you in the chat. We got time to say them. Let's see. Who is this? Nana, welcome. Nana, you must be from Ghana, huh? Okay, this is Brother Ronald saying focus. Let's see. Sister Betty says, happy Monday. I see Sister Diane says, good morning, everyone. I see Sister Dawn says, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, family. Who else we got here? Brother Robert 11X Minor says, yes, yes, yes. He must have been responding to a comment. We got Sister Nubia Latifa giving y'all the greetings, saying happy Monday. We have Brother Victor sending the greetings. And we have Mom saying good morning, everyone. And happy Mother's Day again, Mother. All right. So peace and blessings, family, this week. Focus, focus, focus. Set your intentions. Let's come together Friday morning. No, let me get it right. I'm adding more shows. I got to get my schedule together, right? Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Central Time is the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. I don't even know yet. I've not gotten a download on what I'm going to talk about. So we'll see what happens. And then I'll post it. That's Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time. We are considering moving that one to 6 a.m., but we'll see. Friday, 6 a.m., morning coffee talk. Saturday, 6 a.m., morning coffee talk. So we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7, 6, 6. That's it, okay? Anything comes up, y'all know I'll pop out here and give us a live. Brother Victor says, let's see, he said, okay, all of this is very important for you, flow of authenticity, for your flow of authenticity. Yeah, it is. It is really, really, really important. So, all right, family, with that, wishing you all a happy week, and I will see you all, God willing, Thursday night. Peace and blessings.